As the official healthcare provider of Minnesota United, Allina Health is dedicated to delivering pro-level care for our Loons. But the partnership goes much deeper than what happens on the field. From our shared support of youth-focused nonprofits like Roots for the Home Team, to championing programs for adaptive athletes with the MNUFC Power Soccer Team, Allina Health and Minnesota United are committed to providing an altogether better experience for Loons fans. Learn more at allinahealth.org/loons. Welcome back to another episode of Sound of the Loons, brought to you by Allina Health. I am your host, Zarek Valentine, and I am here with the one, the only, Anthony Markanich. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
Is this the first time you've been on the Sound of the Loons podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. I feel honored. Where are you guys at right now?
We're in San Jose. We just got done with training. So,
how was the flight? How was the training session?
Flight was very long, and the training session was good. It was fun. We played soccer tennis, so
what do you guys work? So again, I used to be cool. So I used to be a player, and now I'm not. And I sit in the front of the plane with all the coaches and everyone else. What do you guys do on the flight? I mean, this was what, 4 hours? What do you guys do for 4 hours?
Yeah. Oh man, we play poker the whole time.
Actually,
yeah, we have a big group that plays poker every time on planes and like after dinners and stuff. So yeah.
But do you have a table? How do you set that up?
We use the cushion on the chairs. We just take off the cushion on the seat and put it in the middle of the aisle. We just put the chips and cards on there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay. I'm not gonna ask specifics on who's playing. I'll more ask specifics on how your game is. How are you? I mean, I don't want to give away too much, obviously, in case the guys watch it, but how are you? Take us in a little bit of strategy, because this is not how I planned the pod to go. So we're going to dive straight into this.
I would say I'm honestly top 3.
Really?
I mean, I've been down a little bit, but I think I'm still, I like my strategy is good. I would say that. It's just the cards are not going the right way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Don't worry. It's the cards. It's never your fault.
It's always the cards' fault.
So you're top 3. Okay. So then I would say, what else would you put in the top 3 then? So hypothetically, if I go to them, when you guys get back, I'm on baby watch right now, so we're in it. But if I were to go to them Monday morning and say, Ant said he's top 3 with you guys, would they agree or disagree? Who's with you?
I think everyone would agree. I think me, Dane, and Boxy are top 3 for sure.
Wow, that's not even no hesitation.
No, Boxy hasn't played in a while, but it's just me and Dane.
Okay, so then if Boxy's gone, who's the next one?
Dane, for sure.
No, so you, Dane, Boxy, and then if Boxy's out, who's?
Sam's been doing really well lately, so I would say Sam.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I never played poker very much. I was never much of a gambler. I'd rather just spend my money on shoes. How'd this come up? Was this something where someone brought it up and kind of floated the idea, then next person latched on, or was this a conscious conversation you guys were having?
I think it was just a conversation. Like when I first came here last year, it was like my first away trip. That's when they started actually playing poker. So which is perfect for me because I love to play poker. So
yeah.
Don't
be late. I know.
Yeah, that was for the meeting. Yeah, it's for the meeting. So yeah, I mean, it was my first away trip. I think it was in Kansas. They brought the poker set. So and ever since then we've been playing every time.
So it's on the plane after meals. How many rounds do you think you guys get in? Well, I mean, this is a longer trip, but in just a few days. Is it like in the hotel once or twice, or how often do you guys play?
I mean, like on these, we leave for a couple of days. Like when we went to LA, we left for like 3 days before, so we played like almost every night. Usually, we play when we get a chance to.
That's awesome. And so then you
Yeah.
guys played, if I'm not mistaken, I saw you guys playing a few times in preseason, and we're not going to go back too far, but that was an every night thing for you guys.
Yeah, we played every night.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So then, so obviously it's fun banter,
Yeah,
jokes
exactly.
and stuff, but
Yeah.
ultimately, do you think that, like, genuinely, you think that helps the team camaraderie when it comes to everything?
Oh, for sure. I think like a lot of the other guys who don't play poker, they love to come and watch and stuff and like just have fun. Like Hassani sometimes doesn't play, but he just loves to come in and comment on things. And so I mean,
Throwing
it's all
jabs.
like fun and laughter and stuff. So yeah, it's a good time every time.
That's awesome. And has this been, and I know you guys, it's interesting because this isn't a conscious thing where you're like, let's build team camaraderie, like let's go bowling. This is more just something that organically happened to where now it's become a staple within road trips to where you guys are obviously bonding as a team, but also you're getting a little bit competitive with it as well.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's
I
awesome.
enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now if I hear you guys yelling at the back of the plane, I know exactly what's going on there. So
Exactly.
let's take us back. Obviously, growing up, you grew up playing the game. You went to college. Take us through a little bit of your journey in terms of how you got to the pro ranks. For those who may not know you as much, you came in the middle of last season. Really helped contribute towards the end of the season and helped us go on a run in a variety of different ways. So take us through a little bit of how you got to that point. Right? It's one of those
Mhm.
movie situations where you're like, you might not have thought, but here we are. So take it
Yeah.
point as if we started there for a little bit of the elevator pitch for the fans.
Yeah. So I went to Northern Illinois for 4 years, and then I got drafted to Colorado, and then yeah, I was there for a year and a half. Played a decent amount of games, but not as much as I wanted. And then St. Louis came calling during the summer 2 years ago, and then I played a lot of games with them. I like right when I came in, I started with them, and then yeah, I was there for another year or so, and then yeah, and then Minnesota was interested, and I really wanted a change again. So yeah, Minnesota's been great so far.
So NIU, shout out the Mac. I was there as a veteran. Um, what's been one of the biggest differences you've seen going from Northern Illinois to Colorado to St. Louis? What's been some things that have been fun that you've noticed and enjoyed the transitional aspect of that?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, the transitions from team to team has been pretty easy. I think the hardest part is getting used to the guys and stuff, which has been really easy here in Minnesota. Like everyone's so friendly and I mean they're amazing here. And then yeah, I mean, it hasn't like nothing's been difficult at all. I think it's been a smooth transition every time. But I mean, for me personally, I feel like every team I've gone to, I feel like I've gotten better each time. Just different experiences and stuff, new teammates. Facing different competitions. So yeah, I think it's been great so far.
So when you say you've gotten better, take us into that. What are you getting better at? What are you actively working on? Take us into the training session a little bit. Obviously, I know it from the coaching side of things, but
Yeah,
take the fans into what you're actively working on because I see it. But just to give a little bit of insight, obviously not too much, but just into kind of
yeah,
your mindset and into taking those steps from place to place to place.
yeah. I think it's more of like a mindset for me. Being able to train with like a whole bunch of different guys on each team. Knowing that I am capable of playing with these guys. So I think it's like more of a mindset thing for me to have the confidence to be like, yeah, I am good enough.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I remember I think one of your first games last year was Vancouver away.
Yeah,
And I hadn't seen you play very much. And to be quite frank, I didn't follow St. Louis very much. It was an interesting. My buddy Tim Parker played there with
yeah,
you.
yeah.
It's
Great
him,
guy.
but I hadn't followed your success very much. And then I remember watching that game, going, "Oh man, this is going to be a difficult game with Vancouver." And you stepped in and were arguably the best player on the pitch. And I was like, "Whoa, this is." I didn't know. I was not familiar with your game, my friend. And it's been really fun to kind of see you play because for me, obviously, you're putting in the work, you're getting better. But for me, the fun thing is you seem to get better. And I don't know if you know this, but the second banter and you start chirping, and I wonder if this is the same with, but the second it kind of picks up a little bit with the jabs, with the trash talk, whatever,
Yeah.
you seem to raise your game. Has this always been the case, or is this more of a Minnesota thing?
No, I think it's more like a competitive thing, like I love when people talk trash about me or to me, even if it's banter or not, I mean, it just always gets me riled up and I feel like it just makes me even more focused, and wanting to win.
So have you tried just honing that and like being that guy? There's a few players around the league. I'm not going to say any names. I'll say, actually, you know what? I will say names. Kyle Beckerman was big at this, and he'll be the first to say it. Kyle Beckerman was good. Minnesota's own Ethan Finley was known to have a little chirp or two with him as well. And there's been a few players around the league that do it, one, because they're uber competitive. That's just like the baseline. But others, sometimes it gets them going. Have you just like start just jawing at people? So if you're going against, someone in Montreal, you just start having to go at Caden or whoever.
Yeah.
How to get things going a bit.
I used to be like a big chirper, especially like in college, but like ever since I've been like pro, I chirp when like I don't really start the chirping, like if they hit me or something, they start talking, or that's when I start going, but I don't really start the chirp.
Yeah, I understand that. And as an outside back, I empathize because 9 times out of 10, we're going against the other team's best player.
Exactly, yeah.
So the last thing you want to do is fire up.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Let's get this guy going.
Yeah.
So the last thing you want to do is like poke the other way.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
I respect that though, because for me, again, we only had probably like a month of training before I got injured last year, but that was always something I admired, was the fact that, some people I would say shy away from the moment, but you seem to embrace it. And that's obviously led to you picking up 50 plus MLS games into your very young career. Is that something where do you consciously feel the moment? Does that make any sense? Like, do you consciously feel the pressure of performing, or is this just cool, calm, and collected? You're the chill guy. You're the meme with the hands in the pockets, or is that, how do you feel going into matches then?
For me, I always feel like I have something to prove, like either it's to myself, my family, the coaches, the club, I always feel like I've never like settled, if that makes sense. Like I always want to improve or, and like impress myself, my family, or whoever it is. I just feel like I need to prove something.
At Target, we're ready to cheer with the hometown fans and gear you up for an epic season. Whether watching from the stands or your living room, score big on game day with everything you need for the win. We're here to be your home field advantage at Target and Target.com.
And you bring up family. Obviously, your brother plays. Was there a sense of competitiveness, or how was that dynamic? Because my brother played, so I know exactly how that feels.
Yeah. I mean, everything was a competition between us, not even like soccer, just like video games, or we play like basketball outside or
poker?
Something. Like, poker, exactly. No, everything was a competition, literally everything was.
That's
awesome.
We
were getting so many fights, yeah.
So then do you think that hardened you and made you a better professional now? Like, it's interesting because you think of the butterfly effect, right? Like a butterfly flaps its wings in Africa and it can be a hurricane in Florida. But, do you think those moments genuinely affected you positively now, or do you think it was just blips in time? Because for me, I don't think they're just random occurrences. I think that really shapes the way you are as a pro. Again, the 100%, fact that we're playing 4v4, someone starts chirping you because you missed the mark. Next thing you do, you bang in 2 goals.
Yeah.
And you look at the guy and you say, hey, sorry, buddy.
No, yeah, 100%. I think it like shapes a person. Like I remember like I used to like when I was younger, I used to cry when I used to lose games, Like I hate losing, So I think that just shapes it all.
Do you like winning, or do you hate losing more? This is always an interesting conversation.
Yeah, I hate losing more.
Me too. Yeah. For me, I think that shapes good professionals.
Yeah.
When you win, it's like we did the work, we put in, trained hard, we did this, I did extra crossing, I get an assist, I did my one defending, I did my job. Whereas when you lose, it just ate at me so much.
Losing sucks. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So now take us into, we're going to fast forward. I appreciate the little bit of introduction through your path. So now we're at Minnesota, and we'll fast forward even more specifically to this year. What's it like getting the call at halftime in our first inaugural game,
Oh, yeah.
LAFC, to just probably be, sitting on the bench going through a little bit of warm-ups. Next thing you know, bop, 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 you're in. How does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I barely even got a warm up. I was told like the last minute before halftime came up that I was going in, so I was like, it was a quick transition to try to get warmed up as fast as you can. So I was doing
So what
just
are you thinking about? Because I've been there, but I'm always curious to listen to players. And what are you thinking about? Are you even thinking tactically? Is it more you're focused on the warm-ups, or you're thinking, man, I got to go up against this guy? What's going through your head at that moment?
I mean, I wasn't really thinking about any like tactics, to be honest. I was just thinking like, how can I help the team, because they were doing well. So how can I, you know, do what Joe was doing or even better. So yeah.
And then, so now, obviously with an injury, it takes you into the following game. Does your mindset change going from game to game, or how do you approach this? Because again, I know your personality a little bit, but I always find these conversations fascinating because I don't really ask guys, right? Like we sat across
Yeah.
in the locker room for 6 months, and I was never like, "Hey, Ant, what do you think going into the game, buddy?" But obviously as a fan, people are really interested in yourself and the rest of the team
Yeah.
to get a little bit of insight into what you're thinking. So take us
hmm
into a little bit of your game day preparation, what you're thinking, what you're not thinking, and just what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, for me, I just like a relaxed day before games. I try to have like good vibes, just with my fiance or my family comes up. I like to hang out with them and just chill in the apartment or house, and we just go out to eat, and then just mostly chill and have like laughing and maybe play like a little board game or something.
So you're not dialed in the game at all. You're because
No, I try to be as relaxed
this
as
is
possible.
no this is
Yeah.
no judgment because I was exactly the same. I told myself
hmm
I didn't want to think about the game until I got into the locker room. Up
Exactly.
until that point, I was watching concert videos and I was
hmm
playing with my son and I was doing this, going for walks, and then I honed it in. But so are you similar
Exactly.
or are you
No,
different?
100. Yeah, 100%. Maybe I watched like a few clips from last game. Just some highlights, just to get my mind, still prepared. But yeah, I'd rather not watch soccer and just be relaxed until yeah, exactly when I get to the locker room.
Well, you know who the video guy is, so if you want to watch the clip, let me know. Yeah, but I feel the exact same way because for me, it was almost too much at times, right?
hmm
You have the game is 90 minutes and you
Exactly.
pick it up into 245s, obviously. Surprise. But it's a lot of mental strain because you know that
hmm
for one moment it could result in a long ball goal. And I didn't want to dial in too quickly because I felt I got mentally fatigued. So I would
Exactly.
try to do other things and then eventually try to really time that. So it seems you're in a similar path where you're trying to make sure you dial in at just the right moments
Exactly.
and go out and play from there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how I am. Like, if I watch too much soccer or something, like, exactly, like it's sometimes it gets too much in mentality, like in your. So yeah.
Yeah. So when you play, and this is obviously just a general statement because I'm not trying to help our opponents out too much, but is it feel because a lot of times again I've seen you play and you're such a relaxed guy that it doesn't seem as if for me I had to play up here. And maybe that's because of the fact that I was very slow towards the end of my career, so I had to think a certain way. But you obviously seem to kind of just have this feel for the game that not everyone has. And is that a conscious thing, or is this just more you're vibing, you're relaxed, you're the chill guy? Because even the social media gave you what was
Yeah,
it?
right. Yeah, the most chill guy. Yeah,
Yeah. So is that a conscious thing, or is this just like a product of your environment to where that's just how you function best? And obviously it's working, but is that just
yeah,
kind of how you are?
yeah. Exactly. Like I said, like I need to be relaxed to play my best. If I get tensed up, like thinking too much, that's when I like things go south. Like I need my head to be like relaxed.
Until
If
someone
I
chirps you, and then suddenly you're not relaxed.
yeah, right. No, yeah, but like if I think too much of like tactics or what am I supposed to do and stuff instead of like just be myself, then yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's always a fine line between overthinking when you're playing and
Exactly.
stop, right?
100%.
Go out and just kind of fully vibe, which is like, okay, well, now you're just kind of
right.
out and just kicking the ball. And then there's other times where you're almost too conscious and you're thinking about your positioning as opposed to kind of feeling the press come a certain way and where the game kind of goes. And it's been really cool because we sat down earlier this week and I was talking to you about some clips that I saw, and you have this way, you have a very good baseline of play. And for the fans, I mean that in terms of a lot of the foundational pieces that you have in your game, the body shape and the feel to attack when you need to attack and defend when you need to attack is really, really good for a young player. And that's something that really impressed me again, that I wasn't familiar with. And that's something, again, that I think is going to take you very far. And then obviously you can keep building on in moments and playing more games. But where did that foundation come from? What did you have? You and your brother are obviously very good players. So was this a club? Was this your dad? Was it mom? Or who instilled this football foundation for you?
I mean, only my sister played soccer. Like, my mom and dad never played soccer growing up. My dad was like a wrestler. My mom was a volleyball player. But yeah, my sister was the only one who played soccer. So that's who we really like followed and stuff when we were watching her play. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't really one team or one coach that installed that. I think it just comes from, like, I love to watch videos and stuff, like Marcelo, for example. I used to watch Marcelo a lot growing up. Yeah. So I think, yeah, I love to watch videos of other left backs and stuff, like what they do and stuff.
Well, that's good to know. Like I said, the video guys. But obviously, we've watched video this week on San Jose. What a transition is that by me, by the way. You see that? Shout out to the host. But, we watched video this week. What are you expecting going into this game away at San Jose? Never an easy place to play. I mean, to be fair, most MLS places are never easy to play. What are you expecting going into this game this weekend?
Yeah, I think they have a strong attack. So I think we have to be mindful of those. Joseph Martinez and Chicho, I think they're going to be very attack-minded. So I think we have to be prepared for that, especially with balls behind or hold-up plays and stuff. So, but yeah, I think they're pretty much the same style as us with the 5 in the back. So yeah.
I think it'll be a good game. I think they're obviously in a very good moment. It's extremely early, obviously, but when you win 2 in a row, new coach, new vibes, I think things are different. And my last one would be, I think everyone's excited to see you go up against, in my opinion, Espinoza was one of the best wingers. He has been one of the best wingers in MLS during his time here. I've always joked around about creating this list of top 5 hardest wingers I've gone against. And a lot of them don't even play in the league anymore. But he was on that list. And he is older, but he's still a good player. What are you expecting going into this battle against someone who's been in MLS for a long time and been pretty successful?
Yeah, I mean, he has a great left foot, so I try to take him off his left foot and see how that goes.
Yeah, there you go. That works out. Easy enough. Right. Easy enough. But all right, man. Well, listen, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me on Sound of the Loons, brought to you by Line of Health. I know myself and the fan base is extremely excited to watch you and the team go out and play against San Jose. Yeah, dude, thanks a lot. I'm looking forward to having some conversations. I'll see you here soon enough. Make sure you go out and do your thing this weekend. Looking forward to it.
All right. Yes, sir. Thank you, Z.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, buddy.